Hey, welcome back. I'm Ferrikster, here to bring you some more Pokemon Go GBL battles. These battles are in Open Great League, and I have a bit of a cold. So if I sound worse than I usually do, usually it's because I have allergies or a post-nasal drip. This time I'm actually sick. So there's that. That's also why I haven't made content in quite a few days. So, where did these Open Great League games come from? These are the last 3 sets of Open Great League that I played before we lost it about a month ago when we got the Ultra League rotation. So these games are about a month old. What has changed since then? Well, Walrein and Trevenant were already big parts of the meta then. Everyone had been using them the previous weeks, and their usage had kind of started to taper off into a more normal feeling meta around the time that that these games were played. All of the Regis have their new moves, so if anything will have changed, Zap Cannon Registeel was not a thing, and now it kind of will be. Normally, a Registeel will probably be running Zap Cannon Focus Blast. That is supposedly the best set. And that actually doesn't give it the most amazing play against any of the things on this team. Kanto Ninetales obviously does pretty well against it. Sableye does okay. It's definitely better for Sableye now that Registeel is less likely to be running Flash Cannon, and Toxicroak obviously has a very strong matchup against Registeel regardless of moveset. So, yeah. The thinking behind the way I built this team was, well, at the time, Walrein and Trevenant were everywhere. I expect them to continue to be everywhere because those 2 Pokemon are very, very meta. So I wanted to have, 3 Pokemon that deal pretty well with both of those things. Toxicroak obviously struggles against Trevenant, but Sableye does pretty okay-ish against Walrein. That's like a neutral-ish matchup, and obviously has a strong-ish matchup against Trevenant. And Kanto Ninetales, despite Walrein being a water type, it functions mostly as an ice type, attacking-wise anyway. So, Kanto Tails resists all of that ice damage and deals neutral damage back with fire. And my Kanto Ninetales is also packing Solar Beam. So, into these games. This trainer is opening with Swampert, and Swampert is obviously pretty strong against Kanto Tails, really, really strong against Ninetales. Pretty okay against Sableye also, so since Toxicroak is kind of going to have the best chance of just fast-moving Swampert down, I decide to just double shield Toxicroak, stay in, and I'm able to counter down a Shadow Swampert just at the expense of 2 shields, and I can usually get a shield from them because they're going to shield the Mud Bomb so they can get off their second move. So, Skarmory is going to come out. I am going to unload the energy. I unloaded this Foul Play when they were at 7 Air Slashes. That way I could CMP tie with a Brave Bird if they were going to throw that. And then they switch out to Venusaur to snipe and get a tiny energy lead. So, this Venusaur is at 1, and since I know it's just Skarmory in the back, I decide to send out Toxicroak into Venusaur, hoping that I can either get a shield, or do pretty substantial damage. I get the shield, and I'm going to build up to and throw this Sludge Bomb. I'm throwing this when they are at, I think, 7, so they could have thrown their move beforehand to prevent me from getting there, but they opted to throw here. This was a CMP tie that I won. Frenzy Plant going to go through, take me out, and then I am going to bring in Ninetales and just farm the whole way down. Ninetales is actually very thick and would easily survive a Sludge Bomb. And yeah, since my opponent Skarmory had no energy, that is a GG. I managed to take that game. Next up against Luca Darme. I did not see that. It was too fast. All right, Toxicroak into Serperior. This is a pretty strong matchup for Toxicroak. Serperior can learn Aerial Ace. It's a terrible move in general, Aerial Ace, and it doesn't have stab, so it doesn't even KO Toxicroak. This Serperior is running a mono grass set of Frenzy Plant and Leaf Storm and Leaf Tornado. He gets the attack debuff on the second Leaf Tornado, so the Sludge Bomb not really going to hurt Drapion. It wasn't going to hurt that much anyway. But since Toxicroak is my best answer to Drapion, even though I've been double debuffed on attack, I'm just going to stay in and throw these Mud Bombs. Mud Bomb's super effective, so, and I am going to shield this because I'm confident that it's Crunch. Drapion in Open Great League usually does not carry Aqua Tail, opting instead for Crunch and Sludge Bomb. And then I'm going to switch into Ninetales after I have drawn those shields. And just kind of, you know, clear my debuff on Toxicroak. And Tox still has enough health to be able to counter down, well, either this Drapion if it were able to win swap, or it would still be good against the Leaf Storm, or the Leaf Tornado, what's it called? Ugh, so out of it right now. I don't know, that green snake thing. So Chief is going to come out. I'm going to end up eating the Rock Slide, and this is fine. Like, I could send Toxicroak out, but don't really have that much health, so I'm going to throw in counter and then switch out to make a catch on Sableye, catching a Rock Slide. And this is fine. Superior is going to come out. They would be able to take me out with a Frenzy Plant from here, so I'm just going to shield this. If it turns out to be a Leaf Tornado bait, fine. They don't get the debuff, so that's fantastic. I'm going to build up a little bit of extra energy, and now I'm just going to throw this Foul Play. And I'm easily going to be able to outpace this G-Fist because I had left myself with some extra energy. And yeah, Tox would be able to finish that game regardless. So that's GG. Oh, man, this is going so smoothly. All right, next up against Republic of China. So Skarmory in the lead. This is pretty bad for Toxicroak, so I'm just going to switch out into Sableye. It's my safe swap when I have things like this, flyers, because... yeah, what's it called? Ninetales would be fine against this, obviously. Toxicroak actually isn't even that bad. So, you know, if I were to lose out on Switch and end up with Toxicroak against Skarmory, if I'm able to build up some extra energy on something else first, then I'll be okay. Gonna eat this Foul Play with Sableye, build up as much energy as I can, and now I'm gonna throw the Return. Foul Play is double resisted, so it does nothing. They no shield, and yeah, I try and counter me the whole way down, and that's fine. I'm going to bring out Toxicroak, not going to have to shield anything here. No matter what this Scrafty learns, I will resist it. And Scrafty's going to faint, and since our switch timers are a little desynced, I'm just trying to switch out into Kanto Tails immediately for when the Skarmory comes out, hoping to get some energy before it's too late, and they were able to switch out right away anyway into a Medicham. So this Medicham is going straight power-up punch. And I'm building up to what could be the Heat Wave. I am running Solar Beam on my Ninetales because I like to have coverage on all of my Pokemon, just for flexibility. Yeah, they're just going straight power-up punch, and they're throwing it as soon as they can, so there's no need for me to shield anything or anything like that. Not quite able to take them the whole way out, and Toxicroak's going to have to come in, and I'm going to have to finish this game. Toxicroak into Skarmory. I do have like more energy than I had before, and the game lags. So I'm only going to be able to get out one Mud Bomb here, instead of getting out a second Mud Bomb. And the second Mud Bomb, as you can probably tell from Skarmory's health, probably would have KO'd. So, yeah, there's that. Inopportune time to lag, but every time is an inopportune time to lag. So that's really nothing special. All right. Toxicroak into Medicham. So Medicham is super thick, obviously, so I'm just going to go straight Sludge Bomb. They shield, and that's fine. I'm going to shield also, because this could be a Psychic. It turns out to be an Ice Punch bait. So I tried to switch out and catch a Psychic on Sableye, who would double resist it, and did not quite manage to make that catch, and I get met with a Drapion. So this is far from ideal. The only good thing about this is that I will be able to reach a return before Drapion's able to take me out. And if they no-shield this, it does so much damage that I could actually shield and force switch advantage just by shielding one of these, I think. I don't know, you know what, he's got quite enough a bit of energy. Shield a Crunch and just barely able to Shadow Claw down. If this Drapion had better IVs, though, maybe it would not have gone my way there. G-Fisk is going to come out, so I am just going to unload all of my Foul Play energy. hoping I can get another one out before they throw their move, but they don't. So this is also, in a way, fine, because that means that they are energy dry. So I'll be able to come in with either of my Pokemon and kind of farm up a bit. They switched into Medicham. I switched out to Kanto Tails immediately because I was worried that they would Insta-Psychic. And they sort of did, so I caught the Psychic on Ninetales, although they would have thrown the Psychic anyway, because that's the right choice when your other move is Ice Punch. Getting to this kind of early, so it can only be an Ice Punch, that's fine. I was, in fact, throwing, so good on them to get the desync CMP tie. Weather Ball gonna go through, and it doesn't actually KO, so I'm gonna be able to farm this Medicham the rest of the way down, end with a Weather Ball Fire ready to go. Stunfisk gonna come out. The Stunfisk has one Mud Shot of energy, I think. And they're able to farm me the whole way down, and I just need to get in one counter to take Stunfisk out before he's able to get to a move. And that's a GG. Although, I would have barely survived a Rock Slide from there anyway with Tox. So, off to a good start. A 4 out of 5. And I get a Genesect because, you know, the Legendary encounters used to come pretty often. Came at a pretty high rate. So, yeah. Gonna catch that. And that is a 4 out of 5. I go up to 3217. Which doesn't sound particularly high, but this was about a month ago, so it actually was pretty... These were leaderboard height battles. Alright, Obstagoon in the lead. Obviously, this is amazing for me. He switches into Drapion, which is, like, really, really not a counter to Toxicroak. I'm going to no-shield this, assuming that it is just Crunch, because, again, in Open Great League, Drapion kind of always runs Crunch, Sludge Bomb. And I'm going to throw this Mud Bomb. We'll hit for super effective. So they are going to shield, and that is fine. I'm going to shield now also, because I do want to maintain a bunch of health on Toxicroak, so I'll be able to take out Obstagoon. I'm going to throw this next Mud Bomb right before they're able to reach another Crunch. And they decide to shield. So I'm going to switch out into Kanto Ninetales and catch this Crunch. Also going to enable me to farm Drapion down, unless now their switch timer was already up, so they're going to bring in our Obstagoon. That makes a lot of sense. They don't want their Obstagoon to have to see my Toxicroak. I'm going to throw the Night Slash. And since I don't have Overheat, I am just going to have to go straight Weather Ball. It does respectable-ish damage. If I was able to get another Weather Ball out, would have actually KO'd. I would survive either of these moves from Obstagoon, because this can only be a Night Slash or a Cross Chop, but I decided to shield anyway and just maintain some health. Don't know what else is back there, don't want to leave myself with just Sableye. I've already seen 2 Darks, but you could always have a triple Dark team, and it's Nidoqueen. They switch into Drapion to try to make a catch, but I wasn't going to insta-throw, because, you know, obviously you would want to build up a little bit more energy with Toxicroak before throwing something against Nidoqueen. And even though they snuck in a Poison Jab, I'm still able to reach this Mud Bomb. And that is going to take Nidoqueen down. This team was super, super weak to Toxicroak, though, so that is a GG. Didn't have to use my Sableye. Alright, next up against Nicholas Ackerman. I feel like I'm waking up finally. Alright, Deoxys in the lead. This is terrible for Toxicroak because a single Psycho Boost. Psychic is double super effective to Tox, so I have to switch out right away. I think previously when I had been playing this team, there were times where I tried to stay in against Deoxys and catch moves, but it's just not worth it. Better to just switch out right away. I end up shielding a Psycho Boost, which is unfortunate, and then they duck out. And they shield the Solar Beam from my Ninetales, so that hurts. They're building up a lot of energy. I'm anticipating that they're going to throw an Earthquake or something before I get to a thing, so I go for the CMP tie here, and if this is an Earthquake, it'll take me out. But that's fine. I want to be able to come in with Toxicroak and farm a bunch of energy. I will be able to survive this Icicle Spear, no problem. And I'm able to counter Wall Rain down. So Deoxys is going to come back out. This Deoxys already has a little bit of energy, I think, residual from the Ninetales matchup. I'm going to throw this Sludge Bomb. They let it go, and now I'm going to switch out, try to catch a Psycho Boost on Sableye, and it just does not happen. And there's a Drapion on the back. So this is a reasonably strong counter to Sableye. Going to no-shield the first Crunch in case it debuffs, and I am just going to go straight Return. If they let this go, and they do, then that is amazing for me. I'm able to sneak in an extra Shadow Claw also, which helps. I'm going to shield this crunch. My win condition at this point is kind of going to be to just Shadow Claw the whole way down, and I make it. Now I'm going to throw my Foul Play right away. This Deoxys already has energy. I know I'm going to win CMP, but I need to get this Foul Play off. And then I switch out into Toxicroak, anticipating they were going to throw something right away and wanted to save Sableye. But since they did not throw early enough, I'm able to reach this Mud Bomb. I'm going to throw that. Managed to take out Deoxys. That is a terrible lead for me. And yeah, the things that they had in the back did a pretty okay job of countering. Just managing energy just right was just barely enough to secure that victory. So that is a GG. Also very lucky of me that they did not shield the return. All right, Swampert in the lead. Terrible for my team, but if I'm going to see Swampert somewhere, I guess this is as good a place as any to see it. I am not going to try to CMP tie because I want to be able to sneak in some extra counters. I try to throw my Mud Bomb immediately after they're done with their charge move, and they let it go. So I'm going to end up shielding again anyway. Not really much I can do about that. So I'm going down 2 shields in the lead, which is not ideal. And there's a Hypno in the back, which absolutely annihilates Toxicroak and gets annihilated by Sableye. So I'm going to switch out into Ninetales just so that, so that I have a hard counter for Hypno in the back. I was kind of anticipating they were going to switch out at some point, and they did not. So this is an awkward position for me. Thunder Punch going through. I'm just going to throw my next Weather Ball. Since they're staying in, I'm kind of assuming they're weak to fire in the back. That doesn't necessarily mean that Sableye will be good or bad against it. But at least this Hypno is avoiding my Toxicroak. So now I'm going to send out Sableye. They've already got energy, but usually a Shadow Hypno is just running Elemental Punches, not Shadow Ball. So I don't really have that big of a threat here to Sableye. Going to eat that next Thunder Punch also. And I'm just going for a farm down because I'm going to be able to do that. And there is a Skarmory in the back. So this is okay. And that definitely explains why they didn't switch out when I switched to Ninetales. So I should have thrown a Shadow Claw there before throwing this next Foul Play, but I ended up letting them sneak in a move. I'm going to switch out into Toxicroak, and I am just going to throw this Mud Bomb. And it does not actually KO from there. I'm going to have to counter the rest of the way down. They get to their move, but that is okay. That is obviously going to KO my Toxicroak, but I'm going to be able to Shadow Claw down with Sableye, and I managed to take that game. That is a GG. That was kind of a rough lead. Had to go down 2 shields, but looks like it turned out to be the right decision. And I just got kind of lucky there with backline. A lot of people are running Pokemon that are not super amazing against Kanto Tails. So Walrein in the lead. This is pretty good. They are going straight Icicle Spear here. So I'm going to let the first one through. It does a lot of damage because it's a very efficient move. And I'm going to be baiting Mud Bomb. So kind of IV dependent here. This Walrein turned out to have pretty good IVs, so even though they didn't sneak in a Powder Snow, they're still able to reach the second Icicle Spear, even against Toxicroak, which is a counter user. Probably should have just thrown a Sludge Bomb to be a little bit safer with that. If they shield, that's fine, then, I can Mirror Shield later. At least I wouldn't have to go down a shield. Because I tried to bait Mud Bomb, that's why I ended up going down a shield. And there was a Trevenant in the back, so that's kind of rough for me, I guess. Gonna throw these Weather Balls, try to take out this Nidoqueen, but I am unfortunately ending up in kind of farmable range, so they're gonna end up shielding and farming me down with Nidoqueen. That is fine for me. I'm gonna bring out Toxicroak. Not gonna shield this. I know this Nidoqueen has a bunch of energy, and this is gonna be a Poison Fang, but that's fine. And now I'm gonna bring out Sableye and go for the farm down. Maybe should have brought out Sableye first and farmed there, so I'd get more energy. I don't have that much of an energy lead now, and since Trevenant does outpace, and it got a little bit of energy before I had counter-swapped out of Toxicroak, they're actually going to be able to reach double Seed Bomb before I'm able to reach double Foul Play, and especially since I've already been debuffed from the Poison Fang, that is enough to take Sableye out, and I'm not able to take that game. That is a GG. Alright, next up against Softoph, my Factions teammate. Toxicroak into Meganium. Softoph, big Meganium user. Toxicroak, pretty decent against Meganium, although obviously I'll have to watch out for the Earthquake later. They switch into Sableye, and I'm going to stay in for a bit. build up to the sludge bomb, and then throw the mud bomb. I'm gonna try to. I was gonna try to catch a return on Sableye, but they end up throwing their foul play before they reach that. It just does a lot, even though it's resisted by Toxicroak. It still does a lot of damage. Toxicroak is pretty squishy after all. I'm gonna no shield this foul play. Hits for neutral, and I want to save my shields for Meganium. And I'm able to Shadow Claw the whole way down. So now I've got energy. If she comes out with Meganium, she will probably be able to farm Sableye the whole way down, but not before I'm able to unload all of this energy that I have stored up. So she lets the first foul play through. And it looks like I'm not going to be able to reach the return, so I'm just going to throw the next foul play. She'll probably shield this anyway, though, because otherwise Meganium will be, like, super, super low and maybe not even make it. And now I'm just going to send out Canto Tails. She's built up to the Earthquake. I'm going to shield. It's probably a Frenzy Plant bait, and it is. So that's, you know. And I'm going to shield this one also. Hopefully this is at least the Earthquake, and it is, so that's fine. And there's a Stunfisk in the back, so now I'm out of shields, and that's unfortunate. She sneaks in an extra Mud Shot. That is rough for me. I am going to throw the Weather Ball, and I try to spam out my next one, and she sneaks in another Mud Shot, so that does not help either. I switch into Toxicroak to try to make a catch. Not quite able to do that, and she is going to unload her energy before I'm able to get to the Mud Bomb. Very good counting by Soph. Rock Slide goes through. And I thought this was just a Rock Slide because it felt like it was way too early to be an Earthquake, but it actually was, so some moves must have gone through when I couldn't see them, or counting is way harder than I think. But that is a GG. Very close game. So that is a 3 out of 5. I get another Genesect because, reminder, the legendary encounter rate used to be very, very high. As little as 1 month ago. And I go up to 32-28. Next up against Darkest David. Toxicroak into Walrein. This is a pretty good matchup for Toxicroak. It always surprises me when they stay in, but as I've seen in previous games, it's not really that amazing. I'm able to sneak in a counter here, so regardless of IVs, I should be able to counter down if they decide to no-shield the Mud Bomb. So just going to throw that one here. If they shield, I'll mirror shield and counter down. And they decide to, so that's fine. I'm going to shield this. And they switch out into Sableye. So I'm going to build up a bunch of extra energy, and I've decided at this point that I'm just going to let them counter me down. I'm anticipating there's a Trevenant in the back anyway, so I don't really need Toxicroak. And Sableye gets a nice energy lead on me, but that's okay. Now I'm just going to send out my own Sableye. And I'm not going to shield anything here. Like, this foul play hits for neutral, and while it definitely does a lot of damage, I'm still able to get to my foul play, and I'm going to throw this before they're able to get to their next foul play. So, yeah, they're going to let it go. Which kind of surprised me and made me think maybe there's not a Trevenant back there after all. Walrein is going to come out. That is okay. And 5 Powder Snows to their 3rd Icicle Spear. Switch out and catch the Icicle Spear on my K-Tails. And there's actually a Nidoqueen in the back. So, not exactly what I expected, but this is fine. Kind of need to shield something from this Nidoqueen. Like, I know it's going to be Poison Fang. It's going to drop my defense. And I'm building up to what could be the Overheat before throwing my Weather Ball, because I don't actually have Overheat anyway. They're going to shield that. That's fine. I'm going to throw this next Weather Ball because I'm not going to be able to reach a Solar Beam, obviously. I'm not going to be able to reach another Weather Ball either. Hopefully this is a CMP tie. It was not. Actually, I think Nidoqueen wins CMP anyway. So I'm going to have to shield this. I wasn't able to sneak in a Shadow Claw, which is unfortunate, but I'm still able to reach my foul play. So that last Poison Jab that they snuck through isn't going to land. I'm going to take out Nidoqueen, and I can just Shadow Claw down Walrein. Making that catch on with that Icicle Spear definitely saved me in that game. That is a GG. All right, next up against Snorlax Bro. Toxicroak into Stunfisk. Pretty favorable matchup. Usually they'll switch out. They switch out into Sableye. I'm going to stay in for a bit, throw these counters, build up some energy, and going to throw a Mud Bomb. I don't have an amazing response to a Sableye safe swap. Kind of just throw these counters, let them throw one foul play because I survive it. And after that foul play, that's what I usually like to switch out. But I guess I'm just going to stay in here. This time, I don't know. They shield the Mud Bomb. Now that I got a shield, that makes it all better, I guess. I'm gonna switch out into Sableye now. My hope is that I can just Shadow Claw down before they reach their next foul play. I think they actually went down with the foul play, so very good counting, and I timed that switch out very well, I guess. I don't know, just pat myself on the back, whatever. I gotta throw this foul play against G-Fisk, and I am going to no shield to Rock Slide. Stunfisk kind of sort of outpaces. And they switch into Venusaur. So that is great. Now I have double shielded Ninetales, and there's just a Venusaur left and a Stunfisk left. So that's fine. I'm going to shield this first move. Turns out to be a Frenzy Plant bait. Very much should not have shielded that. But that's fine. I'm just going to throw this Weather Ball. And this is going to take out Venusaur if they decide to no shield. And I already have another Weather Ball loaded. Ninetales outpaces Stunfisk pretty easily. They're going to let that one go. And at this point, I can just Fire Spin the whole way down. My opponent recognizes that and resigns the game. That is a GG. So that team is very ABA weak to to fire, I guess. All right, Toxicroak into Venusaur. Venusaur is a pretty good lead for me. I mean, Toxicroak will more or less win this matchup just because I resist everything that they throw, and my Sludge Bombs hit for neutral. I'm able to sneak in an extra counter when they throw their first Frenzy Plant, so that's fine. I single resist that, but it still does like half my health because, you know, Frenzy Plant is a ridiculously strong move. Both of my charge moves hit for neutral. The Sludge Bomb does a lot more. I end up throwing the Mud Bomb bait, which is like kind of dumb. They no shield, and I'm going to switch out into Ninetales and catch the Frenzy Plant. That's fine. And there's an Azumarill in the back. So I'm sure someone in the comments is going to be like, this team looks triple weak to Azumarill. And that is sort of true. That is why I will not give up my Solar Beam. If the Solar Beam lands, it nearly KOs Azumarill. Unfortunately, they decided to shield that one, so that puts me in kind of an awkward position here. I am going to no shield, and they undercharged the Play Rough and then got in an instant bubble and instantly KO'd me anyway. They sneak a bubble through when I send out Toxicroak also, so that is also definitely not helping. I'm going to throw the Sludge Bomb. They let it go, and now I'm going to immediately switch out into Sableye because my counters are resisted, and these Shadow Claws are going to be able to take them out a lot faster. So I'm going to have to shield this. It is a Play Rough, so that is fine for me. And I'm going to throw this Foul Play because they're about to reach another Play Rough, and if I am going to have to shield that, I want them to at least shield first, and they do. So I am definitely going to shield this because clearly they really wanted to take Sableye out with their Azumarill. End up shielding the Play Rough, and there is a Skarmory left over in the back. I have an energy lead, but the Skarmory is pretty healthy because it's at full health. Gonna throw that first Foul Play. And I'm throwing this next one when they're at their 5th Air Slash, so just before they reach the Sky Attack. I was going to try to switch out and catch this Sky Attack on Toxicroak. Did not quite make it out in time. I really should have just tried to do that after throwing one. But after that, I'm going to switch out into Tox and counter down. So I'm getting closer to the Mud Bomb. They're waiting out their switch timer a little bit while they send out Venusaur. We simultaneous KO, resisting each other's fast moves. And Sableye's going to come out, and I'm able to Shadow Claw down the Azumarill before fainting. That is a GG. Oh, man. The visuals on the game a month ago are so much better than they are now. I had forgotten. All right, Toxicroak into Victory Bell. So, this is a weird thing to be seeing in Season 10, but Shadow Vic, I guess, as usable as ever. I am just going to shield this Leaf Blade and throw this Mud Bomb. Usually, something like a Shadow Victory Bell is going to be used to try to force switch advantage. They switch out into Skarmory, so I guess that's not what's happening. And for whatever reason, I send out Sableye. Yeah, I don't know about that. If there's a if this is like Double Steal and there's a Bastiodon back there, then this is going to be terrible for K-Tails, whereas K-Tails would be a very, very strong response to Skarmory. So just going to throw this next Foul Play. And I get a shield off the Skarmory, so this is fine. Guess I'm going to let this go. Sky Attack KOs me there, and I'm going to send out Ninetales and just farm up a bunch of energy. And there's an Azumarill back there. So, that's fine because this Azumarill has no shields. So I'm just going to go straight Solar Beam. This is exactly why I carry Solar Beam in the first place. And it does that much. It doesn't actually KO Azumarill because Azumarill is super, super thick. I'm going to shield this. The Hydro Pump would KO anything else I resist and I would survive, but I definitely need some health anyway. And I'm just going to throw this Weather Ball as soon as I've got it, because I don't want to end up absorbing any charge move that I don't have to. They are able to reach their Ice Beam anyway, which is, you know, survivable. It doesn't actually hurt Ninetales that much. It's the bubbles that are really the big damage doer. Victory Bell is going to come out. That's fine with me. I am just going to spam out my Weather Ball. That is going to take out Victory Bell. And I can Fire Spin down Skarmory. So, yeah, end game Ninetales sweep. And I think that might have actually been the last game. Because after that, yeah, Ultra League came up. So that was played at like 4 o'clock right before Ultra League ended, or right before Great League ended. So those were the very last battles I was able to play in Open Great League. But yeah, since it's finally going to be coming back, about 18 hours from the time this is being recorded, can highly recommend that team. Try it out. It should be even stronger with Registeel being popular. And, you know, counters to Registeel usually include fighters. And the team is pretty good against those also. So yeah, highly recommended. Didn't manage to finish that last set before the leaderboard updated, obviously, but the previous set before that, that left me at 32-28, put me there, and when I did end up finishing, you know, if I had managed to finish that set before leaderboard updated, it would have been even higher. But generally, I'm just going for, I've had pretty good results with that team. So, don't forget to do the thing you know you're supposed to do at the ends of videos. You know you're supposed to do them. Please do the things. Helps me out a lot. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Oh, awkward end of video.